folks. Another day, another dollar hit. You guys hearing me okay? Well, it looked like you could hear me from my settings. Somebody want to give me the confirmation, as we know how crazy it is with this damn microphone / internet, you know, this whole thing. What's up, Cliffy? Beth Shamar Prophet. I may be pronouncing your name right. How you doing? And Lefty Gramps, my Ohio main man, who is everywhere you want to be. He's at he's a paid Substacker, so he's getting the good stuff. That the paid Substack's coming out today with a David Schuster video, everybody, and some more New York Times PitchBot stuff. My humor column, cat pictures, more. I mean, Trumper insults to me in responses to past things we've done. Go on by Substack and check it out, thelamp.co. What are we going to talk about? Well, you may have seen the thumbnail. Two pretty opposite cases. I don't know if you came across the audio of Elon Musk flat out crying in the White House, the Oval Office visit, but started crying to Donald Trump about how everything Tesla was nobody liked it anymore and it was falling apart. And they'll do this as a study in business schools for the next 1,000 years, should we not destroy ourselves with AI or climate change or a million other things. Donald Trump. But when you have a company that appeals to a very specific market, it's general thought that you then don't go and insult everybody who's a part of that and make generalizations about how they cheat in elections and how they just want to import immigrants for that reason and how they're liars and they're crazy and stuff like that, and spend money on Trump and the Nazi party in Germany. These aren't ways you win over that market. I saw something. I mean, Germany just keeps getting better and better. Last I'd seen, his Tesla had fallen by 63%. The new number since the beginning of the year is 76%. It has fallen. The sales of Teslas in Germany have fallen by more than 3/4. Womp womp. So yeah, he was crying, and I may, for the first time, folks, get a little wacky today and see if I can play some audio for you on here. You don't want me to get too crazy because I'll screw up the technology, but you kind of have to hear it. Otherwise, I'll have to pull up my phone and maybe put it up to the microphone or something. But you got to hear it. He's weepy and whiny and whimpering. The waterworks. And Trump's like, it's going to be okay. And you can hear kind of Trump talking to him, and Trump's not really listening. Right? Trump's looking at like some porn magazine or something. I've said like 3 different things to get myself demonetized from YouTube in like the first couple minutes. So let's see how that happens. And on the other side of our image, we have the opposite, Cory Booker, which I give him a ton of credit. He's doing, though, what we have wanted from Democrats from the beginning. And I do believe part of the reason he did that is Chuck Schumer wanted him to do it because Chuck Schumer knows everybody hates Chuck Schumer now. And so he is trying to repair his leadership image. And, Cory Booker is one of his lieutenants, even though Cory Booker, like Chris Murphy, should be running the place. And Chuck Schumer and Dick Durbin should, put on some of those old lady hats and, get on a rowboat, maybe take a nice trip around the world or something. Relax, get on some sunscreen, especially on, a lot of sunscreen on the nose to protect themselves. I can already picture that look for the two of them. But it doesn't change the fact that Cory Booker has always been a passionate, strong voice. When he gets passionate about something, he gets passionate about something. And the symmetry of breaking Strom Thurmond's 1957 record for the longest filibuster, the one that was about protecting segregation, and here a black senator gets up and breaks that record with a huge speech that was inclusive as hell. He read from all sorts of things. And it was all about civil rights. It's all about protecting people. It's all about what the Trump administration is doing, what ICE has done, and all of that. The exact I mean, you couldn't write that more poetically, and it was a pretty heroic move. But I just like to make sure everybody understands that there are politics at play here. Excuse me, as I've told you before, it's like old luggage. Flu is gone, has been for a while. I think this cough may just be with me forever. It's like one of those things you acquire as life goes on, you know, pain in your shoulder and, you know, whatever else. Um, some people, obviously, scars and divorces. Luckily, neither of those for me yet. But let's get away from my cough. You know, and again, that's what I'm hoping. This can't just be a trick by Schumer. And then we go back to the baseline of, oh, okay, we'll do this was the kind of standing up and getting in their faces and slowing things down. Spectacle, I've talked about before. That's what the media covers. Spectacle. Okay. If you want corporate media to cover our message, they will always cover right-wing messages because their publishers and owners want them to, because they're wimps and they're scared of Trump and they want the tax cuts and the regulation cuts. But they want to sell newspapers too. And that means the way we hack that system is by creating spectacle, because that they will cover. And that is what Cory Booker did. It was exactly what he did, and it was great. But we have momentum. Let's follow it up now. Let's do something big somewhere else. I know AOC and Bernie have been around the country. That's great too. That's gotten a lot of attention. Good, but let's, you know, keep going. More folks coming out. All right, one after the other. Trump and Elon on the defensive. Because again, Elon's crying. I mean, I started writing my Substack, and that is what my humor column will be on today. And at one point in a paragraph, I just listed off the top of my head the unbelievably nasty and cruel things he has done to people, like, you know, people that he's argued with, disagreed with, and about voting and stuff like that. He's purposely insulted them and made their names famous, so they've gotten enough death threats they've had to leave home. Right? I'm not even talking about like the stuff he's done just to people that have big names, although it's horrible too. I mean, Mark Kelly, a guy that, you know, was only a fighter pilot and an astronaut, which is really similar to being an apartheid baby and a chubby white guy in a yacht. They're very similar, but he called Kelly a traitor. You know, stuff like that. Like, you open your big stupid mouth and you insult people and you say nasty things, and you insult whole groups of people who would buy your crappy product. Maybe not anymore, as those solar panels. I mean, that, you know, or not solar panels, those panels on they're glued on by Elmer's glue onto a Cybertruck. Like, that almost seems like a James Bond car trick, right? Like, you're getting away from a bad guy and the panels start flying off the back and hitting the car's windshield. So yeah, there's that. And then, you know, Elon may be crying even more today because he lost in Wisconsin. It really was. I love what Crawford, I can't think of her first name, the Supreme Court judge, did, where she said she was actually running against Elon Musk. She made him the enemy. Again, not just what Booker did. Messaging, Democrats, you see, if you make the billionaire taking away people's jobs, taking away people's Social Security, which, by the way, we're going to have Alex Lawson coming on, head of Social Security Works, longtime friend, soon. If you take away people's Medicare and Medicaid, if you take away all sorts of other government programs, they hate you. If you attack veterans, they hate you. You know, it's weird that so many people would hate you and hate Tesla and everything you stand for when you've been such an unbelievable and absolute dick. Maybe you should try not being that, like you were, at least not publicly, pre like 2020 or so. I mean, whatever was going on privately in your mind, and clearly from some of the things we've learned, your behavior was just as reprehensible, but you were smart enough to keep it private. And just throw it all out there and think that everybody's going to still support you. Yeah, you're really a genius, like they said you are. So that's where we are, right? He attacked the judge. She used it to her advantage. Again, it's one of the tricks you learn when you work in politics is how to turn a negative into a positive. And it should be the easiest lesson. Elon Musk is spending 25 million or whatever he spent against you. Perfect. You turn that on your opponent. You make your opponent have to answer for every single thing that Elon Musk has done. You make, you know, Elon Musk is spending that money against you because Elon Musk hates Social Security and he hates Medicaid. And he's spending that money against you because he wants to cut government jobs. he kind of thinks the FAA is useless. Planes should just kind of, wing it, no pun intended, kind of, find their way in. And we should also, who wants to track Ebola? What are you, a loser? And nukes. Yeah, post Cold War, a nuke got lost here, a nuke got lost there. I'm sure we'll be fine. So, when you do all these things, and I'm obviously only bringing up the most high profile things. He's firing people all over the place. A lot of them are MAGA people, whatever. When you do all that stuff, people maybe will think you're a dick. It's possible. And I see that Alex Lawson is here. Social Security Works, my good pal. I have to think that Alex Lawson probably thinks that Elon Musk is a dick. But I'll let him speak in his own words. Although he's looking down right now, so I don't know. Maybe he's in the middle of something. Are you with us, Alex? Alex Lawson? Hello? Oh, there he is. Oh, I don't know. Maybe my screen was frozen or something weird.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You just, for a little bit there, you were just like looking down is what it looked like. And I didn't hear you say anything. So I thought it was like almost the entry to like one of those movies where a bad guy's looking down.
And then I'm going to look up. Oh, man.
Like a Clockwork Orange kind of thing. Like,
I wish I'd done that now.
You should have. There is me and my 3 droogs. Okay. We'll get away from the Kubrick for now. Although he seems to have predicted the future pretty damn well in a lot of ways. in all of it. How goes it, man?
Here in Washington, D.C., it is, as the executive director of Social Security Works, it is busy times. They are destroying Social Security. And it's in ways that we just didn't think that they had the stupidity, arrogance, right? Ignorance, audacity.
Yeah. All good words. Yep.
Ballsiness, right? To be like that openly evil. We always, because we've dealt with evil for a long time, fighting the billionaires who will definitely kill you for profit. It's just usually they're like sneaky about it. You know what I mean? You and I have battled that for forever, but now they're just destroying Social Security. Like people's checks are not getting to them, and that's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And they're
shutting down local offices, right? Can you speak to that whole thing?
They're firing workers at the agency, enormous numbers, pushing them out. And this is an agency that was already at 50-year staffing level lows before any of this, with 10,000 baby boomers retiring into the system every day. Every day. It was creaking under its own weight. But still, because of the dedicated work of the public servants in Social Security, who take an oath of office, like all public servants, to protect.
Do they take an oath to the Constitution or to Donald Trump? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Who is it to again?
Exactly. They take it to the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I think that it's really clear that we've got a domestic threat right now, although he is a South African-born, immigrant to this country.
Who, by the way, never was here and working legally.
Yeah, and he's the only
dropped out of school and then worked and never got a work visa, which means to me that's everything he made after that is the fruit of the poison tree and should be confiscated, and he should get his ass kicked out of the country. And I'm serious. If that's how they feel about immigration, then let's apply that to him.
Yes. And he's the only immigrant that I'm worried about when it comes to Social Security, because he is doing tremendous harm to it. Let me just state it this way. And I know I don't need to do the flowing rhetoric here. This is the let's talk real, but give me just a bit.
You can do both. Do some flow, do some real.
For 90 years, through war and peace, through boom and bust, through health and pandemic, Social Security has never missed a single payment. I want people to really sit with that. 90 years.
That is an incredibly important messaging point for all of you guys listening in the audience to please repeat to everybody you know.
But
because
now,
yeah,
Cliff, they're missing payments. Not because of something that the system, it's not Social Security, it's Elon Musk, right? So
yeah.
for 90 years, not a single problem.
You can curse. It's okay.
I know, but I still.
Dude, at this point, I've given up on YouTube. If they want to demonetize me, they will. Just say
And
fuck and
then
we're good.
this billionaire, this unelected billionaire bureaucrat comes in with his chainsaw and his ketamine-fueled destruction,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we've got service disruptions after service disruption after service disruptions, and they're telling us what they're doing. Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan, and bro to bro, he's like, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme and it needs to be done away with. He says it. That's his goal. He's not trying to make things better. He's not trying to improve efficiency. He's not trying to do anything other than destroy the Social Security Administration, which is how it's our money. No one gives us Social Security. No politician in DC gives us a nickel.
Yeah, we pay into it. We pay in for the generation that's retiring, as others will pay in for us.
Exactly. It's an intergenerational promise. And for 90 years it's worked, Cliff. Why? Expressly because the Wall Street was excluded from it. And that's why those billionaires, they just can't stand that because they don't make any money on it. So
whenever there's a public pot of money, right? Public schools, the charter guys want to get in there. Social Security, like anywhere they can see, who's it saying the other day? I brought the FAA. At the FAA, he went in, said this is inefficient, cut their communications department, and it was magically outsourced to Starlink, which I'm sure costs a lot less, and I'm sure will lead to fewer. It's all just like I thought Trump was the worst human being alive, and I'm still grappling with it because I think Elon Musk may be a worse human being. And
neck and neck.
They definitely are. And I don't, I don't know what makes somebody like that. Maybe just, Kentucky Fried ketamine flowing in the neurons too much.
If you want to go philosophy, because I know you do like to wax philosophic sometimes, Cliff. So here's what I say when I'm at the podium or in front of a camera, because it is a question, why? And I think that there is a black hole where his soul should be. It's a deep, deep emptiness that he's trying to fill with money, and it'll never be satisfied. And it's a hole that feels like emptiness and lack of ability to connect with people or understand people. And on that same Rogan show, he said empathy was the fall of Western civilization. I mean, think about how scorched you have to be to say I'm a sociopath, and empathy, literally the thing that makes us great.
But remember when later on, I don't mean to cut you off, but hilariously, because you pointed out his hypocrisy before, then when he started whimpering and crying about what was going on with Tesla, he's like, aren't Democrats supposed to be the party of empathy? You remember what he said? And you're sort of like, I thought you said empathy was bad. Yeah. Are we now saying it's good? It has to. I feel like, again, he obviously, we know privately he was doing sexually harassing an employee at SpaceX, treating workers horribly. And so he's always been a bad person. But the public stuff, the coming out public with all this, I have to believe it's the drug abuse, or he's in some other way mental illness. And don't take me wrong, that is not an excuse. I don't care. I think Trump has mental illness too. I think that Son of Sam had mental illness, and I think Idi Amin had mental illness. I don't care. There's no mental illness that justifies getting people killed or actually killing them or destroying their lives. Or, as you said, like you put it best, I always say that the best, I studied history, which is great, and I think is really important. But I think the best thing you can study if you're going to work in politics is psychology. Because if you want to understand the right, you need to understand what you were saying. This sort of hole where their self-esteem is supposed to be, where their sense of self, where their sense of being comfortable in their own skin, where they don't, where you don't need to impress people every minute of the day. You don't need to be talked about every minute of the day. and all that. And Trump and him and numerous of these others, like, they're lacking all of that. And you can see it, right? I mean, you can hear it when he starts in that audio that I found where he's like crying in the White House to Donald Trump, the least sympathetic person in the world. Um, Pathetic. And that they take out their personal demons and harm the rest of us with them is what's so awful.
And it's just about grabbing as much as possible, right? And it's nothing new. That's FDR on my wall right there.
There
And
you go.
all you have to do is read the history of why Social Security was created in the first place. It was because of sociopaths exactly like Elon Musk, right? It was the same thing.
Same deal.
The billionaires took everything. They
And
left
there's a depression
nothing.
and people were eating cat food, I mean, like starving to death. I mean, I felt like that is part of the whole project to take us back. Like, I mean, again, we used to say Republican parties want to take us back to the 50s, and then it was like they want to take us back to the 20s or 30s. At this point, we're maybe heading towards civil war, obviously.
I think it's
Like,
1820s now.
right,
I
you're
actually-
right. It's even stuff that Lincoln did was too progressive for them. Remember, he had an income tax for a short period of time during the Civil War before it became permanent. Was it under Wilson or no? I think it was under Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, like, they want to go back before all that because to them, all these programs that are proven save lives, the FDA and the FAA and the FDIC and all these things, they just want to get rid of all of it because they want to go back to where, like, we go back to a lifespan of 57 years or whatever it is on average. The wealthy people get to live forever, and the rest of us are just sort of goo for their experiments, right? We don't get the right to a modern state.
And in fact, I think that this is what that statement of about empathy being a bad thing, what they're talking about, and we're just deep in philosophy now, but they literally believe the Hobbesian great man thing, right? Like that they need to be empowered to do whatever they want, and it does not matter what the consequences on the little people are because they're doing these great things and they believe it. This dark enlightenment idiots like Yarvin and all of them.
Yeah, that guy. They're Rasputin figure.
And they just need to read history. Literally every fucking great thing that we've accomplished has not been because of one person. It's because all of us came together and working together advanced the story of humanity. It's in the moments when we see ourselves in our neighbors and we work together, we're like, you know what? We can actually, sorry, I'm going way back. We could get together and hunt mammoth if we actually work.
No, but you do have to, because you're going back to the beginning and how we evolved as a species. And that evolution meant that we went from ourselves to our tribes to our sort of larger groups, city states, to whatever, eventually countries. Hopefully we would get to the world point. I mean, and as you're saying, it's empathy that has marked the upward, not greed, as Gordon Gekko said. I could take his speech and re-say it as empathy that's marked the upward achievement of, he says man, so I'll say woman, since the dawn of time. That is what it has done, is when we've realized, hey, if we form this social contract here, I go again, Lockean and Rousseau stuff, that part, that to me, that is what I've always been a geek about, is a democratic republic. It's this amazing concept of the public square and the public good, and that we're all willing, and we actually should feel honor in it, in giving up certain things. It doesn't mean, no, you don't have a right to, you can't get wealthy, you can't have material things, that's always been part of the deal, but you're willing to give some of that up so that the society was better overall. And that's why I find it so ironic when they're Make America Great Again, or, America's great, or all this crap. You ever saw that one speech, and what was it? NewsHour or whatever that show was, with the dude from Dumb and Dumber. I can't think of his name right now. He's from Michigan. Jeff Daniels.
Uh-huh.
And the question is, why is America the greatest country? And he's like, it's not the greatest country. He finally answers it. He keeps waiting. He's like, we're 127. We're 87th in education. We're this in healthcare. Because we used to consider that was part of our greatness. was that we had better healthcare than everybody else. We had a better education system than everybody else. We had all these things. And when we let the conservative me Reagan philosophy take over, of greatness means accumulating as much garbage as you can, then the whole democratic sort of spirit is lost. And it stops being about, and we've seen it because our education system now sucks. Our healthcare sucks. I mean, comparatively to the world, we don't even have family and medical leave.
It's
I mean,
literally
paid.
the worst healthcare of all advanced economies. We pay the most and we have the lowest life expectancy. You don't have to dig in any further than that. That's all you need to know. Pay the most, lowest life expectancy.
And on the opposite side, France is the cheapest or one of the cheapest and has the best.
And they
somebody's doing it right and somebody's doing it wrong.
You know, I have to do this one clip just because I love these articles. I love the articles that are like, what's the secret to French longevity? Is it the cheese? Is it the wine? Is it? And you're like, it's the healthcare, people. Right. Everyone has healthcare there. They go to the doctor when they feel ill without worrying about going bankrupt, which means they can take care of themselves, which means they live longer. It's not rocket science.
Right. And we create the opposite because we create the perverse incentives where people don't go to the doctor because they're scared what bill they're going to get hit with. And maybe if they caught it earlier, now granted, under Obamacare, it covers preventative care, but they've been attacking that as much as they can. And we still don't have, through Obamacare, even though, I believe very much in it, there had to be, thanks Joe Lieberman, a public option or single payer or something, or multi-payer like Germany has, but something that guarantees that every single person has health care. And maybe we could have gotten there. I'm not going to claim to be an expert through Obamacare, but the right has done everything in their power, including the Supreme Court killing the mandate and all of that, to make sure that we have it. So that we still have, even with Obamacare, I don't know what percentage it is, but at least 7% of the population, whatever it is, that is uninsured. And I mean, and then the idiots on the right, of course, oh yeah, that's taking care of yourself. No, because unless you really are going to do, the only Republican who had the guts to say what they believed back in 2008 was Ron Paul, who was like, yeah, we'll just leave them on the side of the road to die. You know what I mean? Like all the rest of them wouldn't say it. And if you won't do that, if you're going to bring somebody to a hospital once they're that sick because you decide that you're a civilized enough society to do that, that's when it's going to cost a lot more than if you had prevented it from happening. And it's so stupid in so many ways. And you're so right. Are the French drinking special wine? Is it the Camembert? I mean, what could it be? Because it's helping them. They have fucking health care. That's what's helping them. They go to the hospital when they need to. They go to the doctor. It's not hard.
And as you point out, and then I want to, because I know we're limited on the segment, but I love this show, Cliff.
We can go to 3:00 easy if you want. I leave it up to you. If you got to jump, that's cool.
But next time I'll do the head down opening because that I think is a really good one. But
you've got it. Yes.
There's multiple ways to get to guaranteed healthcare. So like the biggest thing is just if you guarantee healthcare and you don't let health insurance companies profit from denying care, literally profit from people dying, preventing people from getting healthcare is what makes money. Providing healthcare costs money. Right. So it
doesn't make sense, right? I mean, I've never even understood the argument because in other businesses, selling your product to somebody is what makes your money. In healthcare, keeping your product away from somebody is what makes money. And so when that's the system, you have to have a set of regulations and guarantees. Again, I would be open to a multi-payer. I think Belgium has it, Germany in some places, but they make those private entities compete with a public entity that everybody can get. And that public entity, shockingly, doesn't have a CEO being paid $90 million, doesn't have like paperwork and all sorts of other waste. And hey, let's take a vacation to the Bahamas for all the senior staff. And they have to be efficient because guess what? If you can equally choose between the public one and the private one is a bunch of crap and overcharges you, you go to the public one and the private one goes out of business. So I'm okay with if we were to go with a multi-payer system. But it has to be multi-payer or single payer where every single person is guaranteed and is regulated that You must get healthcare. You cannot be denied. That's it.
If you get sick, you get the care that you need. But I want to take it to Social Security, and then I want to take it to what's happening this weekend on Saturday.
Yes, perfect. And you want to talk about April 5th. Absolutely.
The key thing is they're destroying Social Security. It's real. People need to be worried about their own checks getting into their bank account. So we're recommending that people take 2 steps to protect themselves. Print out a hard copy of your Social Security statement. If you don't have one that's been mailed to you and you saved it, it's a sort of multi-page report. It has all of your wage history, how much you were paid, and then there's a big top line number. This is what your benefit is. Have that printed out, because the Doge kids are in the system, wrecking things as quickly as possible.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yep.
I mean, it's along those lines, so I don't interrupt, but this is important. I'm friends with Peter Morley, who's a great dude, and I obviously know that you must know him very well.
Yep.
He put something up on Blue Sky, I want to say, yesterday about how he was trying to go on and the website was just, he couldn't even log in. It was down.
Yes.
Like, is that a permanent condition,
no
flickering and on and off condition, or what?
These are flashing red lights that are they're blaring in our faces. If you know how the system works, there have been service disruptions that so it's like, it's not me. It's like literally the coolest heads in the room are like, this is going to lead to catastrophic failure, right? Like, you have a very complex system, and they come through with a chainsaw, and it's wrecking little pieces, and then little pieces start failing, and it's called a cascading failure, right? And this is what leads to catastrophic failure.
Death spiral,
and
if you will.
These blinking red lights. So I was going to say, yesterday there was an enormous outage within SSI, which is built on the same system. And I've become a COBOL nerd, so don't let me be nerd out on COBOL here. But basically,
we'll do that privately sometime when we're drinking. I just want to hear what you know for fun.
There's a foundation that things are built on, and it's an extremely old system built by the federal government in the 50s and 60s. All the banking system uses it. Everyone complains about it, but the rails are the entire system, and everyone's like, I want to change it, but we can't. On top of that base are all these other pieces of systems that basically reach out and touch people. Those are the systems that start breaking down first, right? There's the infrastructure built on this foundation. That's the website that Peter talked about. And all of a sudden you couldn't log in. That's like the 6th outage that they've had. Now, here's the thing. That website is important on the back end too. So you're having outages on the back end where the people working on the back end are having trouble accessing the system. And yesterday, people went in to try to figure out stuff about SSI, which is a separate program, but it's administered by the Social Security Administration. So it's built on the same system. And these are people who qualify for SSI. They go on, either the state is looking for it or they are, and it says you don't exist, you don't qualify for SSI, your whole profile's gone. And so people are like, oh my God. Right. And the agencies start freaking out. They start emailing SSA, and SSA is like, yeah, we have no idea why that's happening. Now, here's the thing. The base, that COBOL system at the base, the payments kept going out because that is this extremely stable system where the payments keep going out.
But I'm trying to hang in here because I don't know any of this crap. So sorry.
You're
beyond my pay grade with COBOL, but I'm doing okay so far.
COBOL is the green screen. If you've ever, anyways, Google it and become a nerd. It's really fascinating.
I should.
But what actually, all you need to know is there's a stable system, 90 years. COBOL's been since the 50s, but there's this stable system, and that's what's getting the payments out, right? So once your data's in there, it's sort of automatic. It's not totally automatic. You need to update it, but it basically keeps going. These ones built on top, Doge kids are in there fooling around with them, and they've said, oh yeah, we're going to turn this AI over and it's going to rewrite the whole system, not just these top ones, but all the way down into the foundation. And they're like, yeah, and it's just this faith, right? Like, oh yeah, we'll just do that. And what we're saying is like, if the system is mission critical, right? You can't rewrite the whole thing when it needs to be operating to get the stuff out every day.
Right. That
right?
kind
Like,
of makes it go down when you are
when,
doing that. I know enough to know that.
And so we're saying, you know, the website outage on the front end, website outage on the back end. Now SSI files are missing. That's why I said print out your file, because it is not at all beyond the realm of possibility that you go to look up your own file and all of a sudden it's not there. And then
Just
you're
another
like,
thing I'm going to tell my mom to do now, as if she needs more to do in her old age. Great.
What your mom should do is get her hard copy and then get in touch with both of her senators and her elected representative in the House's constituent services office.
Well, luckily she's from New York, so her people are different than mine. Well, actually, my local congressman's great,
but not Cliff. I'm saying she needs to get in touch with their constituent.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Side.
I understand.
So,
I just don't know if Republican constituent services will care as much.
Actually, I mean, like we could talk about this at length, but actually, a lot of times, Republican offices are fantastic at constituent services, which is
okay.
So it's
good.
like they're like, yeah, I say, you know, kill poor people on television, but when you call my office for an issue, it gets solved. And
okay, and that's good to know. I mean,
so we're telling people it doesn't matter, you know, Republican or Democrat, get in contact with it. And what that means is I want everyone to have 3 names, 3 phone numbers, 3 emails, and watch your bank. And if you see any discrepancy, right, if the money is not the total amount, if it's late, anything that you see, because people are not getting their money. They're not there's a dude in Washington State, the Doge kids, Elon Musk's Doge kids, declared him dead. He's very much alive, stole $5,000 out of his bank account, and he hasn't received a benefit in 3 months. Now, luckily,
declared him dead. A bunch of little whack-off 19-year-olds declared a human being dead as if they have that ability and that power. And
well, the thing is, they're making it up like there's all this fraud. There's not all this fraud. The fraud rate in Social Security is infinitesimally low. So they're just making up stuff. But people need to protect themselves on Social Security. I wish I could do that 90 years with never missed a single payment. But literally, the administration right now, payments are going to be missed, and it's going.
Has anyone been missed yet? So have they broken that string yet?
Yes. Let me be super clear.
Well, actually, you said that guy who didn't get any. So yes, they would have.
Guarantee has been broken, and it pains me deeply to say that. And like I was on this big Zoom last night about what I'm going to talk about next is the political side. Right, like how we fight back together on the big issue.
I want you to do that here because what I'm thinking, Alex, is you know, I want to focus on everything here, not everything, but like a lot of the political battles. But I think there'll be a couple issues, particularly the ones I know well because I've been in the fight before, and I think I have something to offer. And then I also know the right people like you who are at the tip of the spear because I've been in the fight before. And so, I think we may adopt Social Security as one of our key issues here that we keep on our radar with about, we'll pick about 3 or 4 of them. I think are going to be constant where I maybe if you're willing to kind of to you or somebody else from the organization there or whoever.
Yeah, but I like talking to you. I want to.
I love dude. It could be you every week as far as I'm concerned. I love talking to you, but I know you're also a busy man. I mean, if people look at how the swanky hats you wear, you're in demand. So I want to, in all seriousness, I mean, I however we choose to do it. And I told you I wanted to talk to you about that offline.
Yeah,
and we will. Let's figure out a way here with the one I'm going to start doing on Substack, and all of that we keep people informed about what the hell's going on with all of this and how to fight is the key.
So I want to give back. I want to, last couple minutes here, but I'll try to tie it all together and land it for us, Cliff.
Sure.
Take care of yourself. Also, though, if you're in your community, a house of worship, a book club, I don't care, whatever network you're part of, if you know that there's somebody who's more isolated, more vulnerable, an older person without family, a person with disabilities without a support network, reach out to them now and bring this information to them, because the person I talked about, they were in a situation where that didn't kill them, but there are definitely millions of Americans, tens of millions of Americans, that Social Security accounts for 90% of their income and is the only thing keeping them off the streets or able to eat. And so we need our family and friends. We have to ensure that they realize the risk, the real risk right now. And then we have to go out into our community. We have to care for each other because these billionaires are trying to kill us. So we care for each other. And at the same time, we've got to build that same community to raise our voices together. And the thing about Social Security is it's everywhere. It's everywhere in the country. So we're telling people, go to your Social Security office, contact us. You can go to handsoffsocialsecurity.org. Let's do a rally. We've done dozens of them. I think we cracked 50 already. We get all these people, right? It's like a community member, and then we
Let
get
me know
workers.
if you're coming to Cincinnati, and if I can, we can have some fun here.
Let's do one in Cincinnati.
Tell me when. I mean, if we can get it on a schedule together, I'm in.
We've been building towards this Saturday, April 5th. Our Hands Off Social Security campaign is building towards one big mobilization.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show a little bit, and so I'm glad you're, and I'll go. I'm gonna wherever it is. I'm here this Saturday, so I'll look it up. I don't even know, but I'll be there. Absolutely. Hopefully, snap some good pictures, get some good video. Show people what's going on.
Stand shoulder to shoulder with your neighbors and community, and recognize that what makes humanity great, what has advanced us as a species, is when we recognize the humanity in others, and we realize that we can do so much more when we work together. And there
is empathy, Alex. It's empathy that has. I'm dead serious.
Me too.
I'm making fun of that porky white troll. Sorry, I think I always picture him in that pictures from that yacht that I wish I'd never seen.
Oh my God!
But it's just, that's enough. That's an offense to my pupils. But okay, we'll throw that aside. It's just one of these things where if everybody, this is such a popular program.
Exactly.
They are so stupid for picking this fight. And I know there are people out there always are people who say, oh, they're just going to do what it takes with the elections. It's not going to be honest and this and that. Well, we just won in Wisconsin.
We did.
Right? We just overperformed massively in Florida in both seats. Okay, those were seats that a Democrat should have lost based on previous elections by 30, 40 points. So what I'm telling you is whatever you think they're doing, either they're not doing it or they're not doing it very well. And yes, they're going to suppress votes. Yes, they're going to kick people off voter rolls. They do it here in Ohio with that jackass who's running for senator, John Houston, when he was Secretary of State, did it, and there'll be others who do it. But my point to you is, get out there and be active and make noise whenever, but also vote, because again, whatever they're doing, Elon's little $25 million didn't seem to accomplish much. In fact, what I would call a messaging coup, I brought that up at the beginning of the show, because messaging is always what we talk about. Brilliant by Crawford to turn it around and make Elon Musk, not that other schmuck, schmimmel, whatever, schmagegi, schmendrick, schmuck, whatever. She made Elon Musk her opponent. She literally said, my opponent, Elon Musk, and blah, blah, blah. Take the negative and turn it into a positive. He's going to spend $25 million against you? Fine. It's that weirdo billionaire that's cutting all of your programs and stealing all of your money in private rooms, who was never elected to anything and grew up in South African apartheid. I mean, there couldn't be a better, who's got the personality of an old shoe dragged through feces. I mean, there could not be a better person to have be the face of this. So use it.
I couldn't agree more. And I'll end with this, handsoff 2025.com. We've got over 1,000 events. We've got dozens at Social Security offices, but there's one in your hometown. We're going to have tens of thousands of people here in Washington, D.C., and this is going to be a giant mobilization. It is definitely not the end. It is the beginning of showing the enormous fight back that the American people have, and that we will win. Because when we fight, we do win every single time. So don't.
And I need to say this too. I mean, again, folks, like, you've said some pretty nice things about me here, Alex. You could never have someone, I would never be more confident in winning a fight than if I had Alex Lawson on my side. Because I sat there and watched when one day they were talking about cutting Social Security, and suddenly even Joe Manchin was agreeing to increase Social Security. I mean, like, Alex gets what I've talked about earlier, spectacle, to get corporate media attention. They won't pay attention to just issues because they don't care. But Alex, what, it came out one time dressed like a revolutionary something or other, and or Marie Antoinette, or I don't even remember. But Alex
pirate.
understands.
It was
a pirate. That was awesome. Alex gets both the day-to-day, of what you need to do to fight, but also the spectacle of it, Alex. You're honestly the whole package in a way that very few people, and I'm not just saying this is so true, in Washington are. So I worry more, frankly, about certain other fights where we don't have someone like you there. Knowing that you're there, everybody get behind this. So when is there? And again, everybody go to the site. What was it again? It was handsoff 2025.
2025.com, and you'll see over it's probably 1,100 events now, and this is the starting bell. This is the start. We're going to find the humanity in each other, standing shoulder to shoulder with people. That's where we find our power, right? Because fascism is based on fear, making us isolated and crouching. But when
atomization, where you're off on your own and it's exactly right. You come together and they don't know what to do, right?
They don't know what to do.
That's why he's crying in the White House, because he thought he could just do all this, and suddenly people are showing up. I mean, that Tesla takedown day, from what I read, and I got some pictures I shared with people from a professional photographer here. They were amazing. Of course, one of the guys there was Heiling Hitler, because what else would you do if you're a counter protester and a Trumper? But every single Tesla showroom in the country had a protest. Think about that for a second. That's amazing. And we can do that with Social Security too. So this is doable. Is there, and maybe people can find this on the site, is there, like, offhand, is there a specific time all these things are starting, or should everybody just check your local, see what happens?
I'd check your local, because handsoff2025.com, which is this Saturday, is all the issues, all of us together under one umbrella. So our Hands Off Social Security campaign is just part of it, but it's hands off our public education, hands off our democracy, hands off our Medicaid, and everybody is lifting up the issues that they and their community care about, and we're all coming together, because I'll leave you with this. I've said that 3 times now, so now maybe I'll be my last one.
Because I always find a way to try to trick you into keeping you longer, because that's how much I like talking to you. So,
but you know this to be true. You Google South Korea coup.
Yes.
And you'll get some videos of who stopped a wannabe dictator from using the military to take over the country. Watch the videos, because it wasn't politicians. They came later. It was just the most ordinary people that you've ever pictured in your life standing up and saying no together. And
can I just add 2 more to that? What happened in Hungary, in Budapest this past weekend, on that bridge, where they're like, no more displays of LGBTQ. Was that what it was? It was something like that, flags or whatever. And everybody came out displaying them with a big FU to Orban. I think he's losing his grip and control there. And that's the thing. The narrative changes, because when you see that, leaders who once felt strong start to feel weak. And the other one I'll point to, and this is something we should aspire to, and I'll probably pronounce his name wrong, and I've talked about it here before, but the Serbian thug, Vucic, whatever, 1/6 of the Serbian population came out in Belgrade to protest him. Do you realize if we got one in this country, where is that, 60 million people? I mean, no, it's a hell of a lot more. What am I doing? We have what, 300, how many million people? I mean,
350.
if we had 90 million people come out or something like that, 85 million, whatever, that's what we're talking about. That's what they did there. All right. So we're not alone. When Alex talks about we're not alone, even all of us here in democracy, let me put that up, Jim. Jim is one of our awesome moderators. We're also not alone in this world. Like, they've had it. People have had it with the Putin stuff. France kicked off Marine Le Pen. Romania kicked out their far right candidate that almost made to the second round, and they canceled the first round because he had no money, but he had Putin support. Like, it's happening. We're all just sick of this crap. We're sick of the fascists. Sometimes also international solidarity is a good thing too.
Absolutely. And when we all work together, they might have the money, billions of dollars, but as Elon Musk just found out right to his face last night, doesn't matter if they got the money, because we've got the people, and the people will win every single time as long as we remember to fight.
That's correct. They don't get it that some of us are not for sale. And so, they don't realize the vast majority of people are civilized enough, evolved enough, empathetic, Elon, enough that they care more about other people than you handing them $1 million or whatever. So we can win. Okay, this really will be last line, Alex, and I'll let you off. You want to give a last line?
Oh, my last line. I thought you were coming with your last line. My last line is this.
You get to end it.
My last line is this, and it's when we recognize the humanity in each other. That's what toughness is. Toughness this isn't weakness. This is that weakness is that bullying meanness that the manosphere is talking about. It's literally the weakest of weakness. We are so powerful because we can work together, because we can find community with each other, standing together. And then we are literally unstoppable. And that is what handsoff2025.com. This is the beginning of reminding ourselves of our own power. And Cliff, thank you so much for having me on.
Dude, thank you for being here. Thank you for, I don't know, maybe a decade plus that you've devoted to this. And my guess is how many?
15 years.
Social Security. Yeah, you didn't have that gray in your beard. I've had it in here forever. I'm old. But when you started, you did. I mean, honestly, Alex is you guys don't hear me say that often. Alex, when it comes to Social Security, there's only a few issues where I would say one or two people have made the kind of difference that maybe has made the difference. And Alex is one of those people. I'd follow him anywhere into a fight. So you should really, hands off 2025, look up Social Security Works and what they're doing and other ways you can help. As Alex said, go talk to your neighbors, look for people around who may be vulnerable, people you can help, and particularly check in with family. The way I'm going to check in with my mom today, make sure they're okay. We can do this. We can win this. We just showed it yesterday. Let's go kick their asses. And thank you for being on, Alex.
Thanks, Cliff.
Take care, bro. There we go. Alex, I don't say that stuff about most people in the consulting world or in the activism world. He is a force of nature. He just gets it. He gets messaging. He gets how to get media attention. He gets the small print in things and how to use loopholes to fight back. He gets how to pressure from within too, not just from without. How to pressure senators and members of Congress. As I told you, at one point they got Elizabeth Warren and Joe Manchin to come together calling for Social Security to be for the payments to be increased. That was quite a feat. He's everything that he's advertised as and more. So, my friends, I do again today have children to go pick up, but I've still got more time. We're not going yet. I have at least another 15 minutes, maybe 20. Does anybody want to, anybody interested in talking about what Cory Booker did? I mean, obviously pretty incredible. A key moment. Another one of those moments, look, every one of us can sort of have a moment that can inspire people, but those are the public light that's shining on them can really inspire too. And that's why I get so mad. And I realize people don't understand. They can't think like 2 or 3 steps ahead, who don't understand marketing, don't understand public relations, can't picture the way things could be. It was like that old line, by Robert Kennedy. No, not Robert Kennedy Jr. Right? I don't picture things the way they are or whatever. I picture things the way, that aren't, and then I'm screwing it all up and it's pissing me off. But it's being able to see what's not there and say, what could be there? And Cory Booker, one human. But by standing up and doing that, who at home was watching who maybe wasn't interested in politics, who got inspired and now is running for office, or is now, volunteering at their local Democratic Party, progressive organization, whatever it may be? Who's giving money to Democrats and to others to fight these fights? Who's making phone calls? Who's arguing with family members and using talking points that are smart that Cory Booker shared? It's every action, it's the butterfly effect. And I don't think we throw that around, but I don't think we'll get enough that individual actions change history. So Cory Booker doing that can change history. You out there, you may go to a march and you may do something amazing and it may go viral because this has happened before, as we all know. And it may inspire the country, the world, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about. It just is that it has that kind of effect on people. Think about the guy standing in front of the tank in Tiananmen Square, if all of you can remember that. Boris Yeltsin getting up when the old guard was trying to take back over, and sadly, it didn't matter a decade later, but in Russia, and to undo the democratic reforms, and he stood up and he was, ready to be blown to bits by them to stand up for democracy, and they couldn't do it. To stand in front of the I think it was the Parliament building, was it? Zelensky, who was offered an easy passage out of Ukraine and said basically, I will share the fate of my people. Of course, he didn't dress nicely enough for J.D. Vance, little garden gnome bearded loser who couldn't find one family in Greenland to invite him and his wife in. And Zelensky, I'm sure, is in mourning, getting over that. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, individual actions by people have changed history so many times. And, sadly, as sort of growing up, it was biased towards learning about individual actions of great white men. Now, some of those are important, and we should learn about them because there are white men that did some great things. There also were many, 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 many non-white men who did great things we should have learned more about. Back then it was sort of limited to like, Martin Luther King, that did some good stuff, and Alice Paul did some decent stuff. I mean, you didn't learn about the breadth of what different folks did that changed history. And we're all those folks, right? Somebody does, I mean, again, it was planned, but still she had to do it. I'm not giving away the name yet because you all know who it is. Somebody refuses to give up their seat on a bus in Montgomery. That changes history. And yes, while I'm saying all these high-minded things, Cynthia Rice, Vance is indeed a soulless ass clown. We cannot forget that. So that is all really important. Now, here's the thing, guys. Okay. They've added a feature here that's made it easier. It says present or invite below. Somebody asked before if I had the audio to Elon Musk crying. I do. I can try to put it in there, see if we can get it to run, and then see if I can remove it. I'm just telling you that I could also screw it up. So you need to decide, do I take the risk? Oh, great. Lefty Gramps is in there with play it. Now, if something happens, I'll have to, I feel like I can figure out a way to remove it. Sylvan coming in with the, it's really bad to hold your pee in that long. It's not great for your kidneys. Great for democracy, though. Pat Ludwig, yeah, I talk about how JD Vance can't even order donuts all the time. Jim Williams gives me a do it. You know, guys, when you get cheered on by the crowd, who am I but a gladiator? Okay, Elon. Let's see what we can do here. Presenter invite. Video file. There we go. Hopefully you can still hear me. And I haven't screwed anything up too much yet, but let's see.
Okay, it's okay.
Oh, look at this!
Because Tesla is going down, and it's not good.
Smart guy, you can do this.
It's bad. It's really bad.
Everything's going to be okay. It's all going to come out in the wash, as they say. Soon everybody will be buying again.
I hope so.
Should we watch it again? Oh my God, I learned how to do this. I'm so proud of myself. Full screen layout. Remove from studio. No, I want you to play it again.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay because Tesla is going down, and it's not good.
Smart guy, you can do this.
It's bad. It's really bad.
Everything's going to be okay.
It's really bad.
It's all going to come out in the wash, as they say. Soon everybody will be buying again.
I hope so.
Wah, wah. Oh my God, guys, a whole new world has opened to me. I can put any videos in there. I'm gonna nut. That's so funny. I saw somebody say they thought that was AI. Again, they could have fooled reporters, but a number of reporters have gone with it and shared it. It's not just, I got that one from TikTok, yes. But I've seen, I saw a investigative reporter who I trust on Substack shared that. So it is, I mean, tainted life in there, it is real. As far as this investigative reporter said, I could look and see if others back that up. And probably I should have more than one source as a general rule, but this was an investigative reporter that I trust. So he was crying about how Tesla is crashing. And the thing is as ketamine brained as he is, with all his little, synapses filled with ketamine, misfiring neurons into his freaking ears and legs that are supposed to go through his brain, he gets it. It's in a death spiral, kind of what Alex and I were talking about certain things. It's not coming back. It's not. Womp and also Womp. I was upset last week, remember, because it got back up to like 280 or something. It's now back to 220 again. Its sales are so far down. And again, I don't know the exact deal. I can't, but I feel like with his gigafactory in China, what his hope was is the Chinese would embrace him and they, make some kind of deal with him, richest man, whatever. He'd give them a big percentage. Who the hell knows what the deal was going to be? But he screwed that up. So they've decided to create and, of course, push their own companies. And now he's down 29% even in China. So he can't make up for the losses, a 76% loss in Germany, which is the biggest car market in Europe. He cannot make up for that in China. And he's down, way down. I don't know, last time I'd seen it was like 40% something in the United States. The United States or California, maybe in California, but I mean, California is our biggest EV market by far. He was down in the 60s in France, the second biggest car market in Europe. Tesla's dying. And, once something becomes like, gets a scarlet letter next to it, this is stuff I learned again in marketing from politics. You can, so when people don't like something, like when they're sort of, so we ask questions in politics about favorability, right? Do you have a very favorable opinion of somebody, a somewhat favorable opinion, a neutral opinion, a somewhat unfavorable or very unfavorable, or you don't know kind of thing? You can win back the somewhat unfavorables. The very unfavorables need to pull off literally like something from Mission Impossible, right? They need to do something that's so against brand, that is so like, wow, you can't win them back. And his very unfavorable, the last time I looked at with Elon, was 36%. His overall was, I think, in just about over 50%. And that was like weeks ago. I haven't seen new polling, but like very unfavorable is another way of saying I hate your fucking guts, which is how I feel about it. Right? There's literally, I was going to buy as my next car, and maybe a year away, an electric car. At least a hybrid, probably an electric car. I was obviously going to look at Tesla. I wasn't sold on Tesla, but I was going to look. This is when I started thinking about it 2 or 3 years ago. So, when I started thinking about it, I thought, okay, in a couple of years, I'm going to get a new car. So it wasn't like it was, imminent. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, should I get an electric one? Talk to friends, saw some friends who had Teslas. This was before all of his behavior. And again, there's not anything you could do to get me to buy a Tesla. Nothing. I mean, I can't imagine anything legal, any circumstances under which you could ever get me to buy one. It is embarrassing. It's gross. He's embarrassing. He's gross. I don't even want to be anywhere near it. It's like what I've said on this show before about when I've gone inside a Walmart or Fox News and I feel like I'm in like, a world of Pravda. It just feels gross. And I can't wait to run the hell out as fast as possible. I'll remind you, I said that I only had to go to a Walmart twice in my life when my prescription was out at all my normal places. That was like my last ditch attempt. It was don't get the prescription or go to Walmart. I swear I debated that. Well, that's how I feel about Tesla right now. Like even somebody else says, I don't even want to sit in it. I don't want to be near it. Like it's brand to me now. And brand, remember, a lot of brand is emotional. It's a feeling you get of something. And my feeling is I want to hurl. So, yeah, that's where we are. Not doing it. Not doing it. All right, guys. So plans, as you know, tomorrow will be the live stream on Substack. Come on, who here? I hope you have gone and gotten a subscription. Obviously, paid subscriptions are great. You love them, but even unpaid subscriptions and following me allows you to watch. You'll get a notification. There's a few people I've talked to about coming on. It's my second test run for the show they've given me. That they are backing up with resources, promotion and art and all sorts of stuff that would take me time and money to do here. Obviously the catch is I have to do it only on their channel, but maybe I can share clips here. I'll have to find out, and maybe I'll do that, but I can only do the whole thing there. So it's going to be 2 p.m. tomorrow, and you got to go to Substack to watch it. Please go and subscribe. We'd love to have a big group. We did Malcolm Nance last week. I've spoken to a couple similar type characters for this week. And I'd really love to have you folks over there. And again, like I can't just speak enough about how much support they've given me, how they've responded to my inquiries, how the 12-hour live stream that we had just kicked off and went so well that they ever since then. I mean, I've been on personal Zooms and whatever with the head of partnerships there, the head of PR there, the whatever. I don't even know who those people are at YouTube. And I promise you they wouldn't take my calls. And so you have to understand, like we're trying to build a messaging machine here. And this is part of it. I'm going to keep doing this every Wednesday. Some Tuesdays, Matt's going to fill in some Tuesdays. As I told you, Matt Robeson. So I can get some more of the other of stuff done. But this is a show. And David Schuster is going to be with me. Just won an Emmy, not that good of an anchor. And so we'll have it covered. We're going to have some impressive guests on, and that's another thing Substack does. They help me book guests from there. And so paid subscribers can chat on Substack. There, you're right about that, Lefty Grams. Have I turned that on yet? I've been meaning to turn that feature on because by mistake, when we had that day, we grew by hundreds of thousands. We just got really big. After that 12-hour live stream, it became chaos in the chat because there are way too many people in there. We're like, how the hell did I get here? So what I'm going to do is reserve the chat for paid subscribers. We are only 12 away right now, I think, from 400 paid subscribers, which would be a nice benchmark to hit. So if any of you are thinking about it, $5 a month, actually better than that, $50 a year. It starts at $8 a month, $80 a year, but we purposely, to make it more affordable, chose to lower ours to $5. Because again, I'm trying to do everything I can to make it as affordable for people as possible. But we have 600,000 subscribers, nearly a few thousand less than that. Like, we're making an impact. What we're doing has been covered by some media already. This is how we fight back against the right. And YouTube is going to be a part of it, because YouTube is still growing, and I'm excited about it, and excited about still doing this here. And as I told you, I want to create some more medium videos here that have brought in subscribers before and whatever. So YouTube's part of it, but Substack is the best place where we have the best chance. I mean, we have one of the top 10 overall Substacks right now in terms of the number of subscribers. That's kind of amazing. And that's why they take my calls. We can build off of that. So let's build off of that. Be there, help me out. At the very least, come by as an unpaid subscriber so you can watch tomorrow. And then, hopefully we have extra stuff. Today is our we put out a bunch of stuff for free, newsletters, whatever. Today we've got a paid subscriber edition that goes out that is a humor column that I write, a video that David Schuster does, New York Times PitchBot gets at some of his best stuff that you haven't seen yet. I share some of the Trumper responses insulting me, and we'll be adding to those features. So it's pretty cool. Otherwise, what else we got? I think, I'm going to probably have to head towards the exit soon. So I didn't do a who's going with me yesterday. We have 3 super chats, and this is another way that I'm able to do this, or 3 starred. Let's see what we got. 10, that's what I searched for. If we hit double digits, I told you 99-cent super stickers, $1.99 super chats, paid Substack memberships, it all counts. Sheldon Hughes, of course, has gifted a YouTube membership. Thank you. ET, a $5 super chat. Malcolm Nance has said that we could be at war with either Greenland or Iran soon. B2's on the move. Trump wants Greenland oil as well as minerals. ET, you're correct. In fact, I had Malcolm Nance on my Substack chat last week, and we talked all about that. And that's the thing, guys. You join Substack, you can go watch it. And not just those guys, Canada too, for natural resources. That's part of why he's doing this. It's dangerous. And Sheldon Hughes has also given $5. Sheldon, you're just amazing. What a great guest Alex was today. I can't express how much I appreciate what you're doing, Cliff. Thank you. So can I get any other folks before I head on out? Come on. We're only at 3. 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99, anything. So that we walk out of here on a positive note. Anyone? Can anybody jump in and say, I'm going to make Cliff smile? Cliff provided us with this great guest, Alex Lawson, and his great content, and is burning the candle at both ends through Substack and YouTube and StreamYard and Twitch. And there we go. Lefty Grams for $5. See you tomorrow on Substack, Cliff. Thank you, my friend. Lefty Grams to the rescue. I really appreciate that. And then remember, he's a paid subscriber on Substack. And then Sheldon Hughes again. Come on, people. I mean, Sheldon gives $2 here, $4, $6, stuff like that every time. And he's also a paid subscriber. So there really do seem to be a few people that are very, very supportive. And I guess all I'm saying to the other guys, Venmo a coffee to Cliff. Well, Robert, if you can do that, that's cool. All I'm asking the other guys, something small. Because again, you don't understand at the end of the year, $1 here, $2 there, how much it all adds up. And again, I want to come back here and be able to do the Tuesday one even more often, right? Matt's going to take over a lot of it. I'm going to do a little bit of it, but it's hard for me to do that, in the situation right now. It just is, because I can't do other things where there are paid supporters. And again, like you have jobs, this is part of my job. Sent $10 this time. I know you've done that before, Robert, on Venmo, so I trust you and know that you are telling the truth. That's 6. Can we get 4 more? Is it possible? Because 3:20, I'm outie. Maybe a minute or two after. So anybody else here wanna shake up the group? Anyone? Anyone? Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? Guys, I will always give you as much as I can. I will always put everything I can into this. You just have to all understand that, again, like you, this is a living for me, and YouTube demonetizes me enough. And even when they pay me for these things, they take 2/3 of the ad money, and so these things are very much. Trying to think of the best way to put it. I love doing them, but it's 2 hours of my time throwing prep. It's more towards 3, and I can't. It's time that I'm not doing stuff on Substack that would be growing me there, or other videos on YouTube that would be growing me there, where I would be earning something. And so, I just have to be honest with you. I'm going to have to, the Tuesday thing, if we can't make that work, I mean, not that you're going to do badly with Matt. Matt is awesome, but it's going to be tougher for me to come back and be able to do this on Tuesday. I will always keep doing this on Wednesday unless whatever comes up, but I'm going to have to spend that time differently. Just is what it is. And all of you, if you don't have the money, again, I've always said that if you don't have it, don't do it. Only if you have it. Lefty Gramps is out. Evie's aunt, I'm sorry, I don't have the money this time. Then don't. Evie's aunt, again, your family comes first. Your well-being comes first. This is always for people who I feel like are out there, but maybe don't feel like contributing, and honestly could give me the smallest contribution in the world and would make the biggest difference. So, all right, I'm not going to keep asking, including the one that's not up there today on what do you call it? On my Venmo, we got 6. And, hey, 6 is better than 5, which is better than 4, and on and on. So thanks for your support. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed Alex as a guest. And hope you enjoyed that nice little video of Elon. That was fun. And now that I know how to do that, my God, these things are going to get even crazier. So all of you take care. I hope you'll subscribe to Substack again so that you can listen to my conversation tomorrow. 3 or 4 people I'm talking to. One of them will be there, and maybe 2, and it should be fun. But I think that's all we got. So may Elon Musk cry larger and larger tears. May you all on Saturday be there. I'll talk about that again tomorrow on Substack. And I think we have done what we can do. So, my friends, as the sun sets slowly in the west, I bid you a fond farewell.